Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Spoke to someone this week who visited the folks at Madisonville Marine during the boat show up here in Knoxville. He told me what so many people have told me, and that is these are friendly, professional, courteous people. Now that sounds obvious. It's exactly what you would expect, right? But if you meet these folks, you're going to see how different they are from other boat dealerships in 5 minutes, guaranteed. Madisonville Marine, they've been there for 40 years. How do you do that? Halfway between Knoxville and Chattanooga? Great, great, great selection, prices, and customer service. madmarine.com to learn more. All right, going to put up some interesting numbers and see if these guys have any reaction to them here. Let's take a look at this. Tennessee's assists. We know they're down, but I wanted to look at the assist ratio to see if we notice anything compared to their field goal percentage. Their opening non-conference games, that's their first 11 games, not counting Lenoir-Rhyne because that's not Division I, but they made 337 field goals, 231 assists, 68.5 assist ratio, and they were shooting 50% from the field. SEC opener through the South Carolina game, that includes West Virginia, so that's a 12 game. Well, their assist percentage went down from 68.5 to 60.5, while their shooting percentage actually went up a point. So they shot the same, but their assists went down. And then Kentucky through yesterday, the first Kentucky game through yesterday, that's 5 games, their assist ratio is down to 48.8. And the field goal percentage has dropped over these last 5 games to 44%. So you can't just say it's shooting, it doesn't look like. What's up with the assists, guys? Anybody have any theories?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, you're playing better defensive teams. I think especially in that stretch the last 2 weeks, and we saw a little bit of it yesterday. You see a little bit of hero ball, guys shooting shots maybe you wouldn't want to throw up there. I think we saw that a little bit in the first half. When they go in, things look a little bit better.
Right, yeah.
When they don't go in at Kentucky, you know, it's like, oh, what's happening? This is a total disaster. So I think that the biggest thing to me is just that step up in defense. And I mean, they've played the last, 3 of their last 4 opponents have been in the top 60 on Ken Palm's defensive rating. So that's a factor, especially when you're playing Kentucky, a team that's long and a top 5 defensive team. So I think that's a huge factor.
Well, the fact that Kentucky's long and athletic and LSU's long and athletic, those are 2 tough ones. That's 3 tough games out of the last 5 that fit in there. Isaiah, any thoughts on the assist ratio?
Yeah, I think the same thing. It's the defense, and they know what we look to do. Bone likes to come off that screen and get to the free throw line, the elbow, and raise up. And he was getting that shot so easily on the other teams, and that draws the other man. That way you can get a kick and get better shots. Well, I didn't see us get those really good open shots, especially in Rupp Arena. It's like everybody was already right there on our shots when we get there. So a good contest is good defense, and that's part of it.
All right, well, let me show you something else, and we've talked about this year. It may not mean a thing, but I think it's interesting because you're kind of the outlier. I went through Joe Lunardi's bracketology. This was yesterday, so that may have changed. But these were his top 16 seeds. And of the top 16 seeds, you see minutes played. Tennessee, Michigan, Kansas, and Wisconsin are the only 4 teams out of those top 16 that have 3 guys averaging 31 or more minutes. Tennessee, Michigan, and Marquette are the only teams out of those 16 that have 4 players averaging 29 or more minutes. Tennessee, Michigan, and Kentucky are the only teams out of those 16 that have 5 players averaging 27 plus minutes. So basically, Tennessee and Michigan are playing their guys a whole lot of minutes, different than the other 14 teams in Lunardi's top 16 projected brackets. Mark Pancratz, any theories on that? Does that tie back to the assist ratio? No. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the lack of our depth and the higher minutes are leading to some of the assist issues. I think because, as Isaiah knows, if you're playing a lot of minutes, this time of year, you're not getting much practice time. Coaches are prepared for you, so Barnes and staff aren't putting a whole bunch of new offensive looks in preparation, so teams are more prepared. Our movement offensively, we're not able to tweak our motion offense and get guys to be practicing at game speed for an extended period of time. So then we're not being able to move the ball and bodies as crisply, which is affecting our assisted turnover ratio. I think that's why you saw Farkelson and Walker yesterday be really effective, because they've had a lot more reps this time of year because they're not as tired, and so the coaches are putting them through more game speed things during practice.
Interesting. Very good. That's why we do all the numbers and then break it down for you here. Nobody else puts that kind of stuff together for you. Hope you enjoy it. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more football, and then we close out with 2 more segments on basketball. Lots to come. Come on back on the Sports Source.